Hello, beloved. Welcome to Moon Talks, a mindful moment segment for the Alchemy Ascension tribe. Moon Talks is where we come together to discuss what we are releasing, beginning, working through, and how we are coping with the new and full moon energies that are playing out during the month. During these Moon Talk mindful moments, we will cover the what, why, remedies, and resources that can better our own practices, self-care, and inner work. As a lover of astrology, this segment is by no means to declare any expertise on astro happenings. I do not claim to be an astrologer, just simply a lover of the skies. This aspect of our Patreon community is simply a space where we can offer each other support, share tips and remedies as we navigate moon transits both together as a collective and individually. So grab a drink and get cozy. Let's talk about the moon. Welcome back to another Moon Talk segment with the tribe. Let's not waste any time. Let's just dive right into the new and full moons that'll be inspiring notable moments during the month. So depending on where you're located, we have the new moon in Virgo on September 6th, and on September 20th, a full moon in Pisces. Now, leading up to the month's energies and month's moon cycle, I kept hearing the song Your Power by Billie Eilish. It's a beautiful song with a sad message. So give it a listen. It'll be linked for you to do that. And it's also in our Be the Alchemist playlist on Spotify. But now, to make sense of that, it resonated with me for this moon cycle in the form of a question. That question being, how do you want to use your power this month? Now let that sink in, because it's kind of a big question. Leading up to this moon cycle and harvest, quite literally, the autumnal equinox that'll be happening as well, there's a sense that people are letting go of the bullshit and coming into their own. And so as these new beginnings are starting and we may begin to see these new seeds sprouting, there could be that oh shit moment, like, am I ready for this? Am I worthy of this? Can I handle this? And so I take the song Your Power by Billie Eilish to mean more of how do you want to use your time and use your energy as all of this newness is coming up. Do you want to shame it all away or step into it knowing that you don't know everything? You may not have all of the answers, and that's okay to learn as you go. If you want to close out certain chapters and cycles of your life, do you want to keep using your power in the same way where you either like mentally or verbally abuse your own self or shame yourself for moving on with your life where others aren't able to? Are you going to wallow in guilt about the progress that you're making? As I was meditating, I heard settle into it, settle into it. You're settling into it. And that comes with this newness, right? Where we have to settle into new routines and new habits, maintain the habits that we have been implementing up to this point, the habits that got us to this point, and now we have to carry on with them. And so it's a settling, and it's not a settling as in settling for less, but settling into the newness, settling into this new space of I deserve this, I'm worthy of this, I worked for this, and I will continue to do so because whatever it is, the change that's happening in my life, I want it to continue. I don't want to repeat old patterns where I have either self-sabotaged them away or pushed them away or dropped them because it seemed too hard or too overwhelming to maintain. You can do that. You absolutely can. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to settle in. I think of it as moving, right? Like moving is so stressful. Making sure your credit's all good, leading up to it, packing your shit, signing the lease, scheduling the movers, getting to the new place, getting the keys, and then having to unpack, place things where you want them so neatly and perfectly. You want your home to look like a magazine, so you're trying to organize everything. This month, it may feel like that. It may carry the same energy. You have to be kind to yourself and say that it's okay. I have to settle into this. I have to give myself the time to settle in and to relearn the ropes or learn new ropes. Here are some questions to work through if you are feeling overwhelmed at all during the month. Can you relinquish control and allow yourself to settle into newness? Can you give yourself permission to be the one receiving help, to slow down and to savor the sweetness of a new chapter? Can you give yourself permission to quote unquote level up? Will you shame yourself for the blessings that you receive? Or are you going to receive them, nurture them, cherish them? With this line of questioning, if we're going to continue this moving analogy, I think of it as being in a new neighborhood. You know, you've just moved from a place that maybe you've lived for like 3 to 7 years or so, and you know it like the back of your hand. And now you're in a completely new environment, a new neighborhood with shops you've never been to, with one-way streets, and you have to learn which ones those are so you can avoid them ahead of time. And it's that same energy of having to relearn a space. And so instead of being freaked out by that, some remedies could include taking it all in and being like, wow, this is part of the journey. And maybe trying to approach it with a sense of wonderment. Like, I'm so excited to learn this, or I'm so excited to learn something new. This month, try to give yourself grace and understand that having to relearn something or having to uphold a new habit or trying to implement a new habit that supports your long-term growth, it will take time. And there's a patience and an understanding, a self-compassion that comes with that, and an openness to whatever it is that's changing in your life, to whatever experience you're grounding. Don't get so far ahead of yourself to the point where you're not seeing the little things, you're not seeing those smaller victories, you're not seeing how much of a blessing those short moments are. It's just like a kid when they're growing up, you know, it's like the milestones they make. They seem so fleeting because in a blink of an eye, before you know it, they're 12 years old. So don't let those moments get away from you. Don't let those opportunities to savor and settle into those moments get away from you this month. With that, I close out this monthly moon talk with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this month you find joy, you have and hold joy, and you remember to not be so hard on yourself, to remember that you are a human being. You will make mistakes, you may fail at times, and none of that determines your value or your worth. You are just as worthy. And you can't plan everything. Some things are meant to be a mystery.